There is one young sister that posted a video. She said she was out of Dallas, Texas, and she tried to get a job, and she actually realized something, unfortunately, the hard way, like some black people come to realize about other groups of people and how they get down versus how we get down and how we don't do certain things to other people. But let's go ahead and roll that clip.
I just want to get right here and say, the way the Spanish culture, the Spanish people have made it so difficult for one like me to get a job where I'm from, the country that I've been oppressed in. How do you make it difficult for me to get a job, but I would never make it difficult for you to get a job? We're both the minority. I go to this interview, Mesa Maya downtown in Dallas, Texas. I fucking hate Texas. I hate Texas. I don't belong here. I really want to leave, but I live in Texas. And I'm probably over fucking reacting, but I lived in El Paso, Texas for almost 5 years. And do you know how fucking racist they are towards me? Do you know how hard it was to live there? Do you know how hard it was to get a job? Do you know I can't go in to a job and be myself? And I live in America? Me? Y'all can't be serious right now. And it's just been so hard. I get into this place for an interview. Mind you, I was on time. My appointment was at 2 o'clock. This other girl walks in. She's Hispanic. She gets seen before me. They're speaking to her right beside me, interviewing her. They wait 15 to almost 20 minutes to come and talk to me, and then approach me speaking nothing but Spanish. I answered a few questions because I do understand some Spanish. Enough Spanish to get me by. He goes full blown Spanish on me. I let him know I'm not fluent in Spanish. Do I need to be fluent in Spanish to get this job? He says yes. And then he starts speaking to me in English. Like he's a homie on the street. Like he know all our lingo and everything. But you couldn't give me this job because I'm not fluent in Spanish, and this is America? You cannot be serious right now. I'm so angry right now. This video is going up. I don't give a how I look. I don't care how embarrassed I might be. This is insane. We're both the minority. What the
If the young lady would see this video, this is what I would tell you. It's multiple things. I've seen what she's talking about, over the years in the petrochemical industry, what I used to work in for about 22 years or so. And I have seen when, people of some men, I'm gonna say on the men's side of Hispanic descent, they come in and they want to get their friends in, their family members in, and everyone else. I've seen them buddy up with the white man. I've seen some of them try to get, brothers fired on these jobs. I've definitely seen that. I've seen them trust me, we don't do that to nobody. Now, I've had some people that's been of Hispanic descent that's been cool as ice, has been nothing like a straight friend, but some of them are definitely like that. Y'all have to understand, when you say that, we wouldn't do that, it is not in our nature to treat people like that. That's why, we was basically the perfect slave. And the reason why we was enslaved so long is because we didn't retaliate as we should have. Day one, we should have retaliated to the point that they couldn't make us do any work, because you either going to go get rid of us all or we're going to be free. It's not going to be no free work in here. Right. But Dr. Claude Anderson said a long while ago that when you look at America, you got to look at each race as a team. They said race is a team sport. For example, when you look at what you just had with the Super Bowl that just passed, if the Kansas City Chiefs were ahead in the Super Bowl. Let's say that, right? So toward the end, they got ahead in the Super Bowl. They didn't score that touchdown. They went to the 1 yard line and just downed the ball. Why? Because they did not want to give the Philadelphia Eagles a chance to go all the way back and try to score with a lot of time, on the clock. If they would have done that, they could have helped the Philadelphia Eagles and possibly won the game. So the Kansas City Chiefs, they're the opposite team. They're not going to help the Philadelphia Eagles. So let's take this as, races of people. You're not going to have, we're talking about collectives. We're not talking about your individual friends in these communities. I've always told you this. Your individual friends in other communities, if they're cool with you, be cool with them. If they're family to you, be family to them. But this blind collectivism, I'm going to be cool with groups just off of being collective because they're quote unquote minority. And I told y'all, do not use that term minority. Minority is the worst word. It doesn't even mean anything personally. The term people of color, don't use that because I think that's disrespectful. You have different groups of people, call them by their name. But if you have, let's say in this situation, it was Hispanic people, that's one team. Black people, we're on another team. They're going to look out for their team. They're trying to get to the Super Bowl. They're trying to win the Super Bowl. Why do you think they're going to help you on the opposite team? But we are the only silly people that don't understand, like Dr. Claude Anderson told us, that it is a team sport. We should be helping out other black people. We should be getting other black people jobs. We should be getting black people in the door. You understand? But we don't do that. We like, sure, I got my job. Matter of fact, we don't want other black people to come around our job because we worried about the other black person getting above us. That's how we think. But other groups are getting their people in. They don't think like that. Now, the only freedom that black people have in America is having your own entrepreneurship. The Honorable Elijah Muhammad told you to do for self a long time ago. As long as you begging for jobs from the white man, you're going to be dealing with these issues and problems, sister, brother. And when the white man is controlling the jobs and you begging him for a job, he can give the jobs to whoever he wants. He can make a supervisor, whoever they want. You have to understand, in this country, anti-black racism is incentivized. See, one thing about me, I don't have to worry about somebody taking my job. I created my own job. I don't have to deal with that issue and problem sitting in my car upset that one person on another team looked out for one of their own and we saying that we would never do nothing like that. And we fought for everybody. Well, you see what happens when you fight for everybody. So now you don't only fight for black people. That's it. Only fight for your own personal community like them other groups fight for their own personal communities.
How do you make it difficult for me to get a job? But I would never make it difficult for you to get a job. We're both the minority.
Now, there's other things she can do. She can file reports, with the government, what I'm saying, the Equal, Employment, Commission. She can do that. And talk about discrimination and write all that down. She can do that. It's always a way to fight. She could file a report. She can talk to an attorney about that situation. She can also contact the corporation, who it is and what happened, and see what their response is going to be. It's a way to fight that. And I think you should fight that when you see that, because to me, it is a form of discrimination in the United States telling someone that, well, you don't speak Spanish or you can't work here. The language in this country is English. As long as I speak English, I should be able to work at any place in the United States of America. Now, if I'm in another country, you can enforce that. But here, no. Everybody needs to know how to speak English, period. Nobody should get above anybody, because that's another thing that's happening. If a person is bilingual, they're getting $1 or $2 more over a person that's already here because they speak a different language. And some people get upset about that as well. Now, on the flip side, think about it from a company standpoint, that person's a little bit more useful because they can speak to a demographic of people that you can't speak to. But that's something that should be, I think, debated. But I don't think they should get astronomically above a person because, a person shouldn't be penalized if they can't speak a different language. In America, we don't promote 2 and 3 languages, unfortunately. In America, English is mostly what they focus on. Yeah, you got French class you can take Spanish, you can take all these different things, but it's not to the point where we're having our children speak 2 and 3 languages. I remember the first time I went to Ethiopia and I seen people speaking 2 or 3 languages, and fluently speaking this. And every African country I go to, everybody know multiple languages. And I've at that point, I felt dumb. I felt real dumb because I didn't know another language. All I knew was English. You know what I'm saying? And I was kind of upset, like, why we didn't learn crap in school? We didn't learn anything. At minimum, they should be teaching us at least 2 languages, but they don't. But American education, that's another story. But sister, create your own business and nobody can block you. Nobody. Take them tears and turn it into entrepreneurship. Learn to do for self and also unify with other black people that got the same mind. I'm tired of watching my people beg and cry for a job from other groups of people when you have the ability to do for self. You sit up here in that video and talk about in your country, the country you suffer from, and also the country that your ancestors built. But where's that spirit of building? Builders don't have to beg for nobody because we are builders. Tap into building, not begging other groups of people for a job. We should not be doing that. But let me know what y'all think, about what the sister's talking about. But understand, all that goes right back to the person who owns the company. Because I'll tell you this much. If I owned the company and somebody did that at my company, they fired immediately. You don't do that. No. But I wouldn't have that kind of infrastructure at all anyway.